I'm about to say something that might upset some of you that have been in this online entrepreneurial space for a while now. Online courses, they're done. Please, please, please do not make an online course this year. And that's going to sting for some of you that have been pouring your heart and soul into online courses over the last decade. Or maybe you are a burnt out entrepreneur that's been working one-to-one for a really long time, and you had this great idea this year that you would just make an online course and it was going to help you make some of that easy passive income. I got bad news for you. If that was the plan this year, if you were going to just pre-plan a bunch of content, a bunch of videos, and put it up on a platform so that you could be totally hands off and make some money, it's going to be an uphill battle. I don't think it's a good idea. And I say that as someone that has very successfully sold online courses, taught my clients how to build them. I've had online memberships from low to high ticket. I've basically had every single kind of online offer you can imagine. And I'm telling you, don't. I shut all of my online courses down. I actually closed my low ticket membership. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in this video today. I started my online coaching business about 10, 12 years ago, but I've really spent the last 3 years demolishing what I had built in place of something totally new, but way better. And I'm not demolishing everything per se, just the delivery mechanism. And this same delivery mechanism has helped hundreds of my clients turn their offers into scalable businesses without burning them out. So in this video, I'm going to break down that model, because if you are still just pretending like it's 2019 and you're moving on and creating online courses and maybe taking a Jenna Kutcher course, you're in for a wake-up call. Those delivery mechanisms of the past, they just don't work that well anymore. They've evolved. The market has evolved. People have changed. We're in this post-brain rot era, and it's really time that you understand how to adapt, or your business, it's not going to survive this year. So the first thing that we have to talk about is the fact that AI has changed everything. People know that AI is not as good as humans. They probably know that the AI information that ChatGPT is regurgitating probably isn't even as good as your online course. But for a lot of people who are maybe struggling financially, or who just have an abundance of information at their fingertips, they're just thinking, well, it's good enough. If your business model relies on just putting out really good information, you're in trouble, because AI can give you good information faster and it's free. So again, your work might be better, but all the market is seeing is two things that are essentially the same, but one is free and one you have to pay for. And they don't really see or understand the difference. We also have platforms like YouTube right here where you can learn a ton of good information totally for free. A business has to be built around a market. And if your business is built around information, I need to tell you that that market is gone. We don't have an information problem. In fact, we're drowning in it. We've never had so much information in our entire lives. It's the last thing that we need. Do you know that last year alone, there were over 2.5 billion prompts inserted into ChatGPT, and they're saying that number is just going to keep doubling. And here's the piece that most people are missing. Courses worked well in the past because information was scarce. And it was really easy to sell online courses in the past if you just packaged it well. You just had to be a little ahead of people on a certain topic and you could sell a course. You just needed a pretty Instagram with some nice professional photos of yourself, a nice sales page, and voila. It was super easy to sell online courses 5 to 10 years ago. But now, again, we're drowning in online information, and people are actually overwhelmed by it. People don't see the value in online courses. And to be honest, even if they do see the value, even if they want it, even if they think it's a good idea, they're so burnt out and overwhelmed by all of this new access to information, they won't do it. And this is something that I tell my clients all the time. Your business grows when you get people results. Well, you can't get people results if they don't do your course. So that's something that we really have to think about. I don't want to work with the people that are just happy to sell a course and they don't care if anyone ever does it. Like, who cares? I just made money. Those are not the people that I work with. I work with entrepreneurs, coaches, therapists, online service providers that actually want to get people results. So if we know that people are so burnt out right now to the level that they won't even do your online course, like, then it's not that valuable. We can't get them results, we can't get them the information, and better yet, they're not going to take action on it either. Should that mean that you just quit? No. The market just evolved. And you know what, guys? I know AI is new, but the truth is this change, there's actually nothing new under the sun. Things are always changing. As someone that's a marketing strategist, I know that I always have to be in the learning. We're always doing market research. We're always looking at trends. Things are always evolving, always changing. So get used to it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, things will always change. It doesn't mean things stop. Things never stop. They just evolve. So AI does not mean that you can't have a profitable online business anymore. In fact, I use AI in my business a lot. I use different AI tools with my clients and I show them how to use them too. And I'm also not saying that online education isn't valuable. What I'm saying is the delivery mechanism, it has to shift. And I'm going to get into exactly what that is here in a second. If you've been in business for as long as I have, then you also know, again, that the market's always changing. Your ideal client is changing. The competition is changing. Real serious entrepreneurs know that you never arrive. It's never a one and done scenario. Even when it comes to creating products and things that you sell, it's always evolving. It's always changing. People's brands change. People's content changes. Everything changes, but gets better. You have to know how to research the market and adapt it if you want to be a successful entrepreneur. So I would just love for you guys just to get into that mindset that it's okay that things are changing. I really started to notice this in my own business and the clients that we were working with. 10 years ago, this model worked great. We would gather hundreds of aligned leads into my free webinars or online courses or free community. Then they would move into our higher ticket paid group programs and then eventually into high ticket one-to-one. They would get great results, honestly, at every single level. The free community and online course, the paid online course, the live group immersions, the one-to-one, people were getting results at every single level. And that's what allowed us to scale, right? They would start with like a DIY course and just slowly go up the ladder. But then starting about 5 years ago, I noticed that people funneling into my free community to get those online courses that they really, really wanted, I would do a reel and I would talk about this thing and my comment section would blow up from my ManyChat. Everyone's like, I want it. And then they'd get into this free community and then people wouldn't open it. Like, what? And it wasn't just me. I noticed this in my clients as well. There was this one offer that my marketing strategist was working on where they funnel over 72,000 leads into this. It wasn't free, but it was really low ticket. $27 a month. It was high need, high desire, high want, and very little effort to use this thing and to get results. And out of those 72,000 people that were funneling into this low ticket lead magnet every single month, guess how many people were actually even opening the thing? 0.3%. Isn't that wild? And it just really shows what's happening out there right now. So at first I thought, okay, well, maybe just because it's free and maybe just because it's low ticket and people value what they pay for. But then I also noticed clients who had paid me $2,000 to $3,000, $5,000 even for past courses, for group programs. They also weren't finishing them either. They were starting them, but at some point, they would fall away. So I dug into this deeper. Offers that were working, the ones that were pulling in, 6 to 7 figures every single month, they had these super low open rates on their online courses. But what was still valuable and what was still working was one-to-one. And when we started to poll people about the information, how we could serve them better, that information was invaluable, what we found out was they actually really wanted to know the material. They just didn't do it because they had digital burnout. Again, we're in this post-brain rot era. So one-to-one still work though. Great. Isn't that what we were all trying to get away from? Because you can only charge so much with one-to-one, and a lot of entrepreneurs don't feel comfortable saying, I'm $10,000 a session like a lot of coaches do. So what do? How can we actually scale our businesses without getting burnt out? I'm going to get to that. But first, I just really want to drive home that point that the old way of running an online business, the old way of trying to scale your business, it's a broken model now. And we even saw people like online course legend Amy Porterfield shut down her online course community. The coaches and on the entrepreneurs that we've been working with, though, that are still scaling and growing, they are not clinging to this old way of doing business. They've let it go, hands up in the air, and they're really looking at, okay, well, what does work now? Live human connection, it still works. And in fact, people want that more than ever with all the AI slop that we're seeing out there right now. And I personally have been teaching like a hybrid of this now for over the last 10 years anyways. But now I'm more confident than ever that this is exactly what you need to do in order to scale your business without just getting burnt out on one-to-ones. The entrepreneurs that are going to keep growing this year, they've dropped the idea of needing this passive income online course where they're just running ads to a sales page and it's all hands off and people will do their homework. They're not going to do their homework, but that's okay. That doesn't work. We're going to throw in the towel. We're going to let it go, but you also don't need to be burnt out by one-to-one work. What can't be replaced by AI? Honestly, a lot of things are going to be replaced by AI, but being human, that can never be replaced. We're talking about your live presence, your personality, your wisdom, your unique stories, your shifts, your insights, your struggles. It's why I personally lean so heavily into personal branding as part of your sales strategy with my clients before we even talk about content or selling or any of that. You have so much to offer that ChatGPT just can't pump out. You know, your unique wisdom and expertise from actually living out your value system, of actually going through the motions of using your own process from A to Z. That's going to include all your wins, all your insights, all your failures. AI can't replace the emotional drama, the turmoil, the unseen challenges, the comedy, the way that you overcame adversity, the way that you struggled, and the way that you are celebrating on the other side. AI can't replace real life accountability, another human that they actually have to show up for. That's a big reason why online courses aren't working. It's just you versus you. And that's really challenging for people that are running businesses, they have kids, and they're overwhelmed just by life and all the information right now. And AI also can't replace an interactive community of people that are on the same journey as you right now. People that you can ask questions with, people who you can share your wins with, people that you can learn from. AI, it can't do that. And I don't know about you. I know that AI is designed to like be supportive and to be, I don't know if it's an accountability partner, but you know how it just loves to praise you and tell you how awesome it is. I don't like that. I find it creepy. In fact, I train my AI not to do that because I don't even like it. And people know that it's real humans. Real praise, real conversations, that matters right now. And honestly, I think it's a good thing. And it's the reason why high ticket group programs and one-to-one are still thriving, but low to mid ticket do-it-yourself courses are absolutely tanking right now. So if you want to win this year, you have to be more human, and this needs to be integrated back into your business model. So weird that we're talking about this. Be more human in your business. Let's break down some of the old business models that aren't working, because it's not just online courses. And then we're going to talk about what you probably want to start structuring your business around if you are burnt out of one-to-one and you want to scale. One-to-one still works. One-to-one is amazing because not only is it high quality, high attention, you have a very good chance of getting people really good results. Right? It's the most amount of time that you can spend with somebody. It's totally customizable, and it's one of my favorite things. But the biggest problem is that obviously there's only one of you and eventually you run out of time. And I have no problem raising prices, but I also am not like, I don't even call myself a coach, but I'm not the kind of business mentor that would tell you, oh, just jack up your prices to 10, 20, 30K. That, you know, that actually doesn't feel good to most people. That feels out of integrity. And there are some really amazing entrepreneurs and programs that are worth that kind of money. And I'll be honest, there's actually a whole lot of grifters and people that don't have good programs that are charging obscene amounts of money. Also, I've worked with a lot of clients who work in various industries like chiropractic, health, therapy, where they're capped. at certain wages. They're only allowed to charge so much. So that is an issue, right? So you can raise your prices as much as you're allowed to or you feel good about, but eventually you're capped. Two, let's look at online memberships. Memberships sound really, really nice. I've had an online membership for 5 years. We actually just closed the doors last year. And it sounds nice because the mission is I'm going to give a ton of value for a really low fee each and every month, and people will just be so grateful for the service that they will just pour into my community, and I will make a lot of money and they will be happy because they'll get great results for not a lot of investment. I have 2 clients that do this really well. It's not that this doesn't work. I'm just telling you it's challenging. So the people that it's working for, they have really large audiences. We're talking K, 500K, and 1 million. And they're masterful with their marketing. They have a lot of brand trust. The average entrepreneur doesn't have that big of an audience, or it's going to take time for them to get there, like a lot of time. And to be honest, most people, they're never going to be that big. They're never going to go viral. Virality is a really tough game to play. But then there's other pain points to membership, like one, it's low ticket. Anytime you're selling a low ticket product, and this is why primarily my clients are high ticket service providers, you're playing the numbers game. And the numbers game sucks. If you sell a high ticket product, you don't need as many clients. You don't need as many people coming into your funnel. But if you sell low ticket products, you need hundreds and thousands of people pouring into your funnel every single month. It's hard. Also, people leave memberships all the time. So you're also going to have a really high churn rate. So people are leaving. So that means you need tons of people coming in, and also there's lots of people coming out. So you're just constantly marketing and funneling people into this low ticket product. Memberships can be really, really exhausting because you always have to be creating, innovating, marketing heavily, and making yourself available. Some ADHD entrepreneurs, they love this. They love it. Most people do not. And the truth is, even if you love the constant creativity, people will still leave and churn no matter what you do. And it's not your fault. People leave memberships for all kinds of reasons. And do you know that the main reason why people leave memberships is because there's too much stuff? Isn't that funny? The more value you pour in, the more that people get overwhelmed, they get behind, they feel like a failure because they're behind, and then they just leave. It's also hard to run this kind of business model because you don't have large amounts of money coming in at once. So you have a cash flow issue. You have little bits of money coming each and every month, and that slowly builds and grows. But when you have like pay in full clients that are $2, $3, $5, $10,000, now you got capital to work with, and you can use that capital to build your team, to buy ads, to work on your systems. And those things just really help your business grow. So at the end of the day, memberships are a lot of work. You're playing the numbers game. You're not making a lot of money. It's the long haul. It takes a long time, and it kind of has that online course element to it. And people just aren't jumping in to watch them as much as they used to do. And last but not least, I'm just going to circle back to this point that I said, people value what they pay for. As like a money martyr archetype, I used to have a yoga studio. I've given so much away for free. I've had karma programs, I've had scholarships. Whenever I gave something away for free, or I lowered my prices, or I charged little amounts of money, people just didn't show up, they didn't use it, they didn't get results. And the same thing kind of applies to memberships. People don't value what they don't pay for. So if your membership is $22 a month, $44 a month, they don't see it as valuable, and they're less likely to show up, and they're more likely to leave. And again, just coming back to this point, the traditional online course, you might be in the middle of it right now. You're filming a bunch of courses, you're writing your scripts, you're filming it, and the dream is you can just plop that up on a website, maybe run an ad to it, or just have a really wicked sales page, and then people will just go to your online course, they'll do it, they'll pay for it, they'll get great results, they'll thank you later. You never had to be there. It's not happening. 99% of the time, they're just going to go to ChatGPT. They're going to see the name of your online course and what it does, and then they're just going to go to ChatGPT and ask Chat, make me an online course, teach me what I need to know. And it's true because you've probably done it yourself. And I can't tell you the last time that I've taken an online course. In fact, I was even thinking about going back to school to learn about AI and graphic design at a college. And then I looked at like the college prices and I thought, oh my God, why would I pay for that? I can just go to YouTube. And then I thought, well, why would I go to YouTube? I can just use ChatGPT just to write me out my own course with all the links. I don't even have to search for that information. People are using ChatGPT to help them learn, help them design things, help them actually do the work, design the work. And they're using it for everything from fitness to therapy to relationship counseling to business. Now, is that advice as good as the sweat and tears that you poured into your online course or working with you one-to-one? Probably not. It worries me that people are going there for relationship counseling. So it might not be quality advice, but to be frank, people say good enough. So remember, any of the online courses that just involve information, people just see paid information or free information. They're going to take the free information. So what should you do? Well, if you're already not serving people, if you don't have like a process or a method, you want to get clear on that. And I love starting off with one-to-one. One-to-one is the place to start until you're full doing your one-to-ones. Then it's time to scale your business and to look at a hybrid model. So a hybrid is going to be group / online course / you are there live. So there's going to be a few different elements depending on how you want to structure this thing. So there may or may not be an online course element to it. If there is an online course element to it, you must keep it essential. In fact, one of the latest masterminds that I joined, the online courses that were in my portal, they were like 2 minutes, 5 minutes long. And you would think, oh my God, you paid $10,000 and you had 2-minute courses, and they weren't fancy, they weren't highly produced. It was just like the essential process that I needed to learn in order to take action on a certain thing. That's actually more valuable to me. I don't need the fanfare. I don't need the production. I don't want to watch a really long video. So in that mastermind, they really actually did know their audience, because the kind of person that is going to pay $10,000 for a mastermind probably already has a thriving business. They don't have time to watch hours upon hours of videos. So if there is any videos, if there is an online course, only the essential. Resist the urge to just stuff things in there because you think more is more, that the more things that are in there, the more valuable your product is. It's not true. It's the opposite. We just want what is essential. What are you teaching again and again and again that would be better just in online course format so people can return to the video? Only the essential things. Yeah, so this is a hybrid because there might be some core courses that you want people to move through, but the biggest selling feature of this offer is it's actually live. So there are live calls, real humans, and real interaction. And this helps you scale your business because this is a one-to-many model. A live group program is also really fun if you do it with intention, if you run it well, if you know how to facilitate a room. There's accountability, there's community, not like the fake community that you just find in like the comment section somewhere on social media. No, this is real people in real time. And I'm going to explain how you can actually put this together really, really well. So the first part to start off with any business, before we can even go into like marketing, is what is your offer? What is your unique process and method? How do you help people? You have to be crystal clear on the results that you get to people. It can't just be, this is my generic mindset program, my holistic health program. No, there has to be a very clear shift from point A to point B. And in this video, I don't have time to get into this deeply, but it needs to be tangible and it needs to be clear and it needs to be something that people are shopping for. People aren't shopping for live my best life ever. They're not shopping for feel better, like improved wellness, more energy, most empowered self ever. Nobody's shopping for that. No one's Googling that into a search bar. This is a challenge for life coaches because you can do a whole lot of things. And life coaches tend to use like really fluffy, erroneous language. You're going to have to figure out what's clear and what's tangible and who that's for. And then better yet, what is unique about your specific process and method? Because that's the thing that you're going to lead with in your marketing plan. Yeah, and you can't just have a mindset program or even like a weight loss program because there's millions of them. You have to be clear on What is unique and special about the way that you do it? You're going to have to decide based on your experience, your unique skill set, what is the best specific transformation that you can provide, and who is best suited to get the best results from that program. I don't want you to just think about who do you want to help the most. I want you to think about who is actually going to get the best results, who's actually motivated, who has the money to do this, who is actually going to see this thing through from A to Z and get the best results that you can brag about. So what's specific? An Instagram business coaching program for network marketers who want to make 10K a month. An online homeschooling curriculum and community for Christian moms. How to move overseas to China to teach English and replace your 9-to-5 income. How to lose 5 pounds a month by only dieting 2 days a week using our flexible carnivore method. One of my clients teaches real estate investors how to buy their first multifamily unit. I bet lots of you have never even heard of a multifamily unit or what that means. Perfect. That means she's being specific. Another one of my clients sells infinite banking products to Canadians who want to create a tax shelter for their business income, because we got a lot of taxes in Canada. Very specific. Another helps perimenopausal women decrease their symptoms of inflammation and weight gain using her 30-30-30 method. So if you're serious about this, you also need a methodology and a process that is specific, and you only market to that specific avatar and bring that person into your program so that you can get the best results for them. They're also going to get the best results because everyone else in the program is also like them. If you have a bunch of different avatars in that program, they're not actually that helpful to each other. So some things I want you to think about. What are you uniquely suited to teach on? What do you actually have results in? 2, what is unique about your process? 3, who is going to get the best results from that process? And 4, where is the spot that that person is really getting stuck? Find the person that's not maybe just thinking about the thing. They've already kind of started the journey, and then there's like a consistent sticky spot. How do you take them from that spot to where they actually want to go on the other side? So there's a ton of value from them working with you, but there's going to be even more value of them working with the other people in the group, especially if they have the same problem and they're the same kind of client avatar. Now, before you build this thing, I'm going to teach you something that you're going to want to do. This has happened to myself so many times, and it's happened to many clients as well. I have a great idea. So I'm going to go behind the scenes and I'm going to secretly build this thing, and I'm going to spend weeks, months, some of you even years building out this thing. But you never tested it. You never did your research. And then some people, the whole time while they're building this thing, usually an online course, they're neglecting their content, their brand, and they're not marketing. And then they go and sell this thing and crickets. Nobody wants it. Nobody needed it. And because you weren't showing up online, you don't have an audience there that's ready and primed to buy. So the first thing that you want to do before you build this is research if it's actually what the market wants. And I have a very simple process to take you through that anyone can do, even if you have 0 people on social media. I love social media and you can use it too, but I love that literally anybody can do this. You're going to have conversations with real life human beings. Yeah, I mean it. Real life human beings. You're going to find 10 people, and I don't know, they could be coworkers, past clients, current clients, friends of yours, and you're going to ask them, hey, do you know anybody that has this problem? And you're going to lay out your idea here. They're either going to say, yeah, I do. And if they don't, you're going to ask, do you know somebody that does? The worst thing that's going to happen, I know some of you with social anxiety are thinking, oh my God, I can never do that. What if they say no? The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, no, I don't. That's it. Doesn't mean anything about you. Okay. But a lot of the times they do, or they know somebody. If they know somebody, you're going to ask for their contact information, send them an email or a DM, and you're going to ask if you could take 5 to 10 minutes of their time. Now, you're going to ask them some very simple questions. It's only going to take you, again, 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to ask, in relation to this goal, you're going to lay out the goal, what is like a good outcome? What do you want more than anything right now? So the question is, what do you want? What's the goal? Then you're going to ask them, what is in your way of that now? For a lot of you that have taken my sales training, this is going to sound familiar. What's in your way of that? You're going to ask, what have you tried before to get that result? Then you're going to ask, what little things get in your way? Maybe it's like a thought, maybe it's a habit. What little things get in your way of achieving that goal? And then you're going to ask, what big things get in your way? What things keep you up at night? And then last but not least, this is the money question. I got this from Matt Gray. If I could wave a magic wand and eradicate all those problems for you in an instant, what would this magic solution look like? Well, now you have their goals. What do they actually want? What's in the way of their goals? What they've tried in the past and failed and why that didn't work. And then you're also going to have what a perfect solution looks like. You're going to take down all of their answers. You're going to take down their contact information. You're going to tell them that you're building something and ask like, hey, I'm building this thing out right now. Do you want me to let you know when it's ready? And a lot of the times, if they have this problem, they're going to say yes. Now you have a lead list that's starting to build. And at the end of every interview, you can also say, hey, do you know anybody else that is also struggling with this that I could talk to, and see if you can get another referral. And this is how you can start building like an endless body of leads. You know, when I first became a life coach 12 years ago, this is basically how I built my coaching business. It was really word of mouth using this exact model. It wasn't on social media. I was just starting to build it back then. You're going to do at least 10 of these interviews. Now you have all of this information to not only build out your curriculum, but you're also going to be able to use all of these insights for your marketing plan. You have the thoughts and desires that are actually in their head. You have the words that they use. You have the problems that are in their way. These are all things that you're going to need for your content and marketing strategy too. But most importantly, now you have your program. Now, do not take all this juicy information and then go and like hide yourself away and build an online course. Do not do that. Because remember, people aren't doing the online course. If there's a couple core things that you want to do, that like resources that you feel like they have to have, they're essential, go ahead and do that. But just run this thing live. Launch it. Run it live, no online course, meet with people, have Q&As at the end of every single session. You're going to collect more data of how you can do things better, what the members need. And at the end of it, then you'll have it filmed and you can choose to keep that filmed content and put it out there, then run weekly live calls and have like these core courses, or you can just run it live every single time, done and dusted. You scale it because you're never doing one-to-one in this model. If you want to have that as like an upgrade, you can definitely do it. But people will come, they'll show up, they'll do the work if you run it live. So you definitely need to maintain an element of live calls in this process. You can so easily scale a business where you just have to show up once a week, once a month, however you want to structure this to teach your program live. You want to have live calls, live support. There can be other coaches in your program that also show up live, and opportunities for the group to have Q&As together, to work together, to do homework together. You want to have as much essential live components to your program as humanly possible. And then when you're running that program too, just ask them questions. Ask them about their wins every single week. Ask them what they're struggling with. This is all information that you need. So you need what they're struggling with to help you improve upon the program. And then you need their wins to help you sell the program. So friends, I hope you are hearing what I'm putting out there today. Online courses are not worth it. Do not put your eggs in that basket. Do not waste your time on building an online course this year. That delivery mechanism, do it yourself and I'm not involved, it just doesn't work. Things have changed. And you know what, if you currently have really good online courses that you've slaved over, that's fine. We just need to recreate the delivery and experience so it's no longer just a do-it-yourself course. And I need to kind of stress this point too. There really is no such thing as passive. I hear that all the time. Like, I just want passive income. Like, I don't want to show up. I don't want to work. I don't want to sell. I just want it like selling and people doing their thing. It doesn't exist. You know what's passive? My real estate. That's passive. Everything takes work. You still have to market your product. And the best way for your business to grow is to get people incredible results. You have to fall in love again with why you started this thing to begin with. It shouldn't have been just for money. It should have been because you want to actually help people. Well, good news. You get to keep helping people. And the best way you can do that is by showing up as a people, as a human being again, live, working with someone, helping them get through these sticky points, helping them get the transformation that they actually want. Our clients, they're scaling using this business model. They're also scaling doing one-to-one. Some clients just love to stick with the one-to-one model too. It's simple, it's easy. Doctors, therapists, finance experts, fitness professionals, they're all moving to this model, and it works for any niche that solves a legitimate, specific problem for a specific avatar. That is your marketing plan. Be simple, be clear. Online courses, they may be dead, but online education is continuing to grow. Again, we just need to change the delivery mechanism. Live, not do it yourself. This is still a $1 trillion industry. People have less trust in traditional education. We're going to see more and more people not even go to university, but they still want to learn. They still want to acquire new skills. They also know that they're not going to finish their online course, but they do know that they will show up for an expert that is going to be there live, helping them achieve their goals. This hybrid approach, it works. And it allows you to actually break out of the one-to-one model. It helps you scale, it helps you grow, and your people are going to get great results if you do this intentionally. If you build this well too, this might be the only thing that you need to sell from now for, the next decade. Now, you can take everything that you've learned here today and just run with it, or you can work with us for faster results, including the tools that you'll need to market and sell your offer once it's actually done. Our clients on average triple the amount of sales calls that they get and closures in less than 6 months. And of course, we don't guarantee results. The results are up to you. But my business grows when our clients see success. So you can guarantee that I am pouring everything into our program to help you do exactly. You can see the link in the bio if you want to book a free roadmap call to see how our process can work for you. Look, I started my coaching business on Instagram when it was super easy to grow. I've done one-to-one, I've done memberships, I've done the online courses, and back then it all worked. I moved to YouTube just 2 years ago, and we only have a small audience here of 1,000 subs. Super grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for making your way over here. And you know what? That small audience has been enough to fill my coaching calendar and group programs with this new model. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you'd like to meet with me and my team to see if our Sovereign CEO Scale program is right for you, again, click the link below in the comment section. It's totally free. We're basically just going to ask you a little bit about your business, what niche you're in, what is your offer, what's your program, how do you help people? And if we think it's a good fit, we'll just go over the roadmap of what our program looks like. And if it's not a good fit, we're going to send you to one of our referral partners, or we'll send you home with some actionable steps. So you're going to win either way. You'll be clear on what you can do to grow your online business and brand. You do not have to build this thing alone. And this information, it shouldn't tank you. It should excite you, because now you know exactly what you need to do to grow and scale your online business, while everybody else is still playing by the old rules, making online courses that probably no one's ever going to see, buy, at the very least, do. So if you want to keep rolling with this momentum, watch my video here on how we're helping coaches, creators, and online entrepreneurs scale their businesses. You can check it out right here. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Love to hear what you think about it in the comment section. If you have any questions, you can drop them down below, and I'll see you here for another video soon.